Okay, so welcome to our open house, our virtual open house for our town tutorial. Oh, okay, here we go. Sorry. I have to get used to all this again. So what we're going to do tonight, just obviously first the welcome. We're going to just give a brief little scenario from each one of our tutors, who we are, how long we've been doing things, just kind of for people who are maybe new for homeschooling, just an overview of what that is, what your responsibilities are versus ours in the education of your kids, and then the schedule and the courses that we have and any questions that come up at the end. So, okay, well, I guess I'm going first. So, I have a master's in curriculum instruction assessment, which is like an educational master's. And I'm an accomplished instructor with IEW, veteran homeschool mom. I have 4 kids. One is married with a baby on the way. We have 2 grandbabies on the way. And homeschooling one still for a couple more years. I've been married for 26 years. I've participated in co-ops before for certain times in our journey, and helped with tutorials, obviously. I mostly teach IEW. Actually, that's kind of like all I do in the tutorial. Actually, no, that's not true. I did do some tech last year. Okay. And that's been since 2018. And I love to crochet. I really like to read, and I like to go on nature walks. So I guess that was in order of my preferences. So, all right. Who's next? Crystal.
Me. All right. So my name is Crystal Kajeski. I have a bachelor's in elementary education and liberal studies. I have been homeschooling. I have 3 kids. My oldest is graduated from college, my second from high school last year, and then my youngest is a sophomore this year. Oh, she's learning driver's ed. But anyway, moving on. So I've been at this since they were born, essentially. Long story, but if you come to a park day or join, you can hear all my big stories. So I participated in co-ops as well, and then I'm one of the founders of the tutorial. I am now a trained IEW instructor. I did that in May of last year, and no, this year. This year is really funky. Yeah, so I did that this year. I have been tutoring one-on-one for IEW for a year and a half or so, and I love it. My kids have both actually taken classes from Karen for a really long time. My second daughter was in dual enrolled in community college last year, and she was like, boy, am I glad I had that IEW class, because I can just whip out these forum replies and these 350 word responses that I need to for deaf history and culture and all this kind of stuff, and there were no tears. It was really nice. So I started teaching online book clubs during 2020 because I noticed that my kids, especially my youngest, would rather YouTube or Lego or run outside and watch the squirrels and the birds and the dogs and everything else, and instead of read books. So that's not her passion. And so we had to make it something fun to have actual conversation about books and where that would lead, because books are not just books. Like, yes, they take you to another world, but you learn so much through them, you know? I am a former unit leader for American Heritage Girls. It's been a minute since I've done that, but the kids were I did the older girls even before my kids were in the Pioneers and Patriots. So that was really fun. I am a musician. If you have not heard of the Waldorf Homeschool Band, I run that page. I play flute. I love to play the flute. It's hard because my face is doing things, but I love to sing. If you catch me humming, that is normal. That is not unusual. Yeah, and I guess that's about it. Thanks. Bye.
Great. Thank you. And Brandy. Hi, Brandy. Are you ready? Maybe. She might not be ready yet. We can come back to Brandy if she wants. We can come back. All right, let's go to Jen.
Hi. So, yes, I am not as many words. I don't have as many words as everyone else, but I like numbers a lot better than words. I've been homeschooling again as my oldest is in his going into his junior year of college. So that's a really long time that I've been homeschooling again since they were born. I've gotten my MBA, and yes, I'm halfway through getting my CPA license. So that's really exciting for me. I do absolutely love helping people with their finances, and I'm really excited about our finance class here to teach high school kids about how to manage their money, how to earn enough money to support their lifestyle so that they will not be living in their parents' basements for the next 20 years. You're welcome. And um, also, I do have my own business. I do bookkeeping, tax preparation, all that fun stuff. And um, my hobbies are gardening, I play piano, I crochet, do all that kind of fun stuff. So, oh, and my youngest is going into her sophomore year as well. Um, so, yeah, the whole learning to drive thing is going to be lots of fun. So,
Yeah,
that's me.
that is going to be fun. Sure. If you guys say so.
Sure.
Sarah.
So, hi, I'm Sarah Sees. I am a certified minister with the Assemblies of God Church, and I focus mainly on children's ministries. So I usually regularly teach from age 3 up through high school. My girls are 14 this year. I have twin girls, and they are going to be freshmen this year. And we have been homeschooling since they were in 3rd grade. I love history field trips and history things a lot. I focus a lot on read alouds and reading and crafting. But I really enjoy teaching.
We love Sarah too. But your kids are in ninth grade, but because they have older kids, like they've already been doing ninth grade work because they
Yes.
just do
Yeah,
stuff with
they
us.
already have credits for high school already this year.
They'll probably be graduating in like 10th grade. Be all right. Okay, go ahead, Pat.
All righty. So I have a master's in dance movement therapy. And once upon a time, I worked on an inpatient psychiatric unit. Came home to be a mom. I have 5 children who I homeschooled all through high school. The 4 oldest have college degrees. The youngest has his associates and is close to finishing his bachelor's. I participate in several co-ops and tutorials, both in Virginia and here in Maryland. I've been teaching sign language for more than 20 years. I'm an interpreter at my church. And my goal is to help kids love to sign so that they're not afraid of engaging with deaf people, and to learn about deaf culture and just to have confidence in communicating.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, Miss Lauren, you ready? There she is. Okay.
Go. Sorry about that. Okay. So I'm a mother to 5 children. My oldest is 17 and just graduated. The oldest that I homeschool is 13, so he's going into 8th grade. So this is my 9th year of homeschooling. So I've participated in and taught preschool and early elementary programs through co-ops since 2017. I am the president of our church primary education program. I like sewing and canning and gardening and anything emergency preparedness, actually. And we kind of have our own homestead wannabe, right? We've got chickens and our bees and our garden, and so we're trying to live off the land, right? We love that. So I have a couple of classes in the 3rd grade through 5th grade age range that I'm helping with this year that I'm excited about, with science and also with music appreciation. So that's me.
Do you sell honey?
We do when we have it to sell.
Okay. My husband tried bees and it never came to fruition.
Right.
We have lots of bee supplies. So, you might be our go-to girl here pretty soon. All right. So we'll go to Kara and then Brandy's ready and we'll jump back to Brandy. All right. Okay, Kara.
Hi everyone. I am Kara Paulson. I am the newbie to the Old Town tutorial. I've been married to my husband for 24 years. I'm also a veteran wife. He was in the Navy for 30 years. I am a mother of 2 children. My son just graduated this past spring, and he's going to George Mason in the fall. And my daughter, whom I homeschooled for 2 years, she will be going into high school in the fall. I have a master's of education with a concentration of international teaching. I'm also certified in the state of Maryland for teaching grades kindergarten through eighth grade. I'm actually, I have taught in the US and overseas as a special education teacher in public and private schools for over 9 years. And during that time, I specialized in teaching math, reading, writing interventions for all learning styles. That was kind of my passion, was reaching kids that had problems with learning, as well as kids that had some difficulties. My hobbies are gardening currently. I'm really into gardening, my front garden. Um, and I also enjoy singing and playing the piano, and I also sing in my church choir as well. And I'm very excited about starting my new adventures as a tutor, and kind of transitioning out of the classroom and public school into this setting. Just very, very excited.
You'll never go back. Just saying. Okay. But we're going to go back. We're going to go back to Brandy. So, nope, we're not. Let's keep. There we go. I got this.
You've got
Where's she at? I miss it. Oh, there she is. Okay, go ahead, Brandy.
Hi, guys. I apologize. I was having technical difficulty.
We
And I
gotcha.
have my AirPods at home, so it's a little noisy. So bear with me. So, Brandy, I have been part of OTT before it was OTT. We were at St. Joe's and just we're having fun teaching the kiddos. And then we were like, wow, it's time to get a little more serious. We have lots to offer among us. So I have a degree in Spanish. I'm fluent. And I also teach at CSM. I've taught their homeschool classes before that are held on Fridays, but recently my schedule just hasn't allowed for it. So I've been just focusing on our OTT classes and then my adult classes in the evening through CSM. I've been homeschooling, my goodness, I think it's like 10 years now. And we all started in the beginning because we had to. And it wasn't our plan, but it became our life really quick and we love it. Everybody has so many great hobbies, you guys. So just quick fact, I lost my grandmother this past year. And so she was for the last 5 years. Now I'm looking for new hobbies. And so it's been interesting and we're having fun. But I love reading. I love music. And I'm definitely a Spanish nerd. Like I am always learning something about the language and doing all kinds of stuff to just keep bettering myself and learning things. We overall, I'm going to be teaching a class that is called Passport to the World. And it was a spinoff from my other class, which was called It's a Big World. And it's not a curriculum base, but I make all the, I find all the materials and resources. And then I'm also able to offer high school Spanish this year. I'm still working out the final detail on the curriculum. Karen helped me find an amazing curriculum for Spanish, so I'm really looking forward to being able to offer that. I look forward to meeting you all and can't wait to have your kiddos. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's keep going here. All right. Okay. Wow, it's kind of hurting my eyes switching all the screens like that. So for those of you who might be watching this video and you're just starting out homeschooling, obviously it's instruction at home. Parents are the primary educators. And in the state of Maryland, we are required to provide instruction on the subjects that are taught in school. We just have to show that it's ongoing and we're making some progress. You don't have to have grades or anything like that unless you want to. There are different ways that our community can help you homeschool through co-ops, pods, and tutorials. And we're going to kind of take you through the difference with that because sometimes people will use the word co-op interchangeably with a tutorial, and they're, slightly different in how they're run. So when you have a co-op or a pod, there's going to be another parent that's delivering the instruction. It's most of the time they pick a church because they usually have space, right? Like during the week. Or sometimes if you have a pod, they're meeting in the home. But in a tutorial, we do have a designated location. It could also be in a church. We got lucky where, like Brandy said, we did start off, in a church. It was very, very informal. And then I think it was Brandy who found out that like maybe we could go to CSM, and we love it there because of the technology and everything's always nice and clean. Not that it wasn't where we were, but I'm just saying like it's just really nice. Everything's like just kind of right there. So tutor delivering your instruction. At a co-op or a pod, the parent's responsible to document your learning. Same thing at a tutorial. So we know that like we're charging money for our classes, but the parent is still responsible for the documentation. The materials that we use, you can put in your portfolios and things like that. You can use the material, but you're responsible for collecting that material and making sure you have that material. So we don't save it for you and give it all to you at the end of the year unless we say we will. There was actually a teacher who did that for us one year when my kids had art. She was like, I got this thing, and she worked really hard on it. It was great. But anyway, usually in a co-op or pod, it's co-op, right? So you're working together and everybody has kind of volunteer hours. Every parent is expected to teach something, maybe remain on site. You don't leave. In the tutorial, most of the time our parents are off site. Ours is drop off, but it's also a la carte. So you might be dropping your kid off for one class or two classes. You might be staying for lunch. That's one thing I don't think I put in here is that we do have a tutor. Lauren Darm is our tutor that is in charge of lunch. And there is a small fee for that for every semester. But if you don't want that, if you want to join us for lunch, you're more than welcome to come to CSM for that. But for the most part, parents kind of come in, they drop their kids off and leave us to it. In a co-op or pod, you have money exchanged for materials. You usually don't pay the person to teach. It's just like, hey, I need money for these materials for your child. But in a tutorial, you have money exchanged for the services that we're offering for having your kids for the day, and any materials that we need is also in there. So that's basically a breakdown of that. Does anybody have anything to add? Are we good? Did I pretty much cover? Okay.
I guess I could add, sorry,
Go ahead.
Just that, and I don't know if maybe you said it and I wasn't paying attention, but our classes, and it's not necessarily my younger classes, but the Spanish class and a lot of the classes that are made for the middle school and high school, there is a demand for the child to do homework, to do studying. And so we created and treat the program as definitely a core part of so
yeah, that's true.
Anything I wanted to just mention. Thank you.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, we provide the instruction, but a lot of time there's homework. Even for the younger kids, there can be too. Especially like Crystal did the recorder last year. Obviously, you have to practice, right? So I think you got somebody talking, Crystal. Can you mute?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say one more
okay.
thing that's muted. So the other thing is that we have homework, and we'll probably get to that, but our homework is communicated through a Google Classroom, most everybody. And so you have access as a parent to all of that to keep it straight, because we were in the same situation of like, oh, our kids are now responsible for something that I'm not giving them. So you will now have the information that you need all in one place so that you can say, your kid's like, I don't know what my homework is. And then you say, let's learn this together and learn about outside requirements and then timelines and everything else. So it is a learning curve for all of us that we all learned with our kids, but it was beneficial for them to have those timelines and requirements.
Yes. We actually finished math this year, and last year. Yeah. Right. So here's our schedule. In-person classes meet from 9 a.m. to 3:30. It's only 9 o'clock for Jen's financial literacy class. The rest of us start at 10, I think, right? We'll get
And
to the slide with the schedule, but it's also posted in Facebook. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jen.
be on time. I will take every single minute of class time. And if you are late, you will miss things. Just saying.
Uh-oh. So roll out of bed in your jammies, parents, and just be like, here you go, guys, and you can just drop them off. Okay. It goes until 3:30 because we have ASL 2 that takes place later in the day, but most of the classes are going to end at 3, but you'll see in the schedule. And like I said, the schedule is also posted up in Facebook and the application and all that. So you can download a copy if you want it. So unfortunately, we do have to change when our classes run. We're only allowed to do 10-week semesters this year, and they must be on the same weeks as CSM's Homeschool Friday program. In the past, we've been able to kind of finagle, for the most part, the weeks that we want, and they were 12 weeks. So you really have to pay attention to the course descriptions. Some classes will still hold 12 classes, but 2 of them will be virtual. So you really have to look at those course descriptions and make sure you know what your class is going to be doing. But like Crystal said, we use Google Classroom. So all you'll need to do is go to your Google Classroom and all of your classes for the tutorial will be right there. Every one that you join, you'll have to join and all that. But you'll be able to see when everybody's schedules are in the course descriptions. We have in-person options for grades 3 to 12, and our virtual classes. So some of the classes are in-person and virtual, depending on the number of classes. We also have classes that are completely virtual. And we're going to kind of see that later on in the presentation. So I don't want to get into too many details right now, but those are for middle school and high school. Actually, there's elementary as well. Sorry, there is elementary also. So it's elementary, middle, and high, and we'll get into that, into the detail now, actually. So we will just give you a really brief rundown because, like I said, the course descriptions are pretty detailed. So just a really brief rundown. So Lauren, are you available to talk briefly about science for grades 3 to 5? If not, we can go to book club. She has little ones, so she's busy.
Just 1 minute and I can do that. Maybe Crystal
Okay.
can go ahead of me.
Okay, no problem. Crystal, go ahead.
All right, book club, grades 3 to 5. I haven't chosen my books exactly, so I love to read, especially children's literature. Like Matilda's, I think one of my favorite books. So anything too complicated, I don't really love, but I love children's books. One of my favorite classes was children's lit in college, actually, because I had to read books and take notes. It was great, like kids' books. But we'll read 4 books this year, so 2 in the fall semester, 5 weeks each, and then 2 in the spring semester if you come back and join. And it is by semester, so if for some reason life gets a little funny or you're like, I can't swing fall and I want to come in spring, that's fine too. I mean, as long as there's enough people to run the class, then we will have the class, or if it's not full, because we do keep our numbers very small. So I'm not sure what I'm teaching yet this year, but some of the books will align with the IEW class, one of the writing classes that I'm teaching online virtually. We'll get to that in a second.
All right, very good. Passport to the World.
Yes. So I kind of mentioned it earlier. Passport to the World was created out of need because my son's growing up. So I originally started a class called It's a Big World, and we focused on animals like as the forefront of the class, because that, who doesn't love animals, right? The kids love that. So we started with animals, and then we of course would add in science and geography and all kinds of stuff, and it was super fun, and even got to do culture. And again, it's time for him to move on a little. So Passport to the World is still going to be kind of similar to that, but it's going to be a little bit more work. It's going to not be so animal focused. It's going to be more so more of so, I guess, of like a social studies type of program so that they can, wherever we visit, they're going to hear a little bit about the government, the language, the culture, and hopefully we'll get some animals or sea life or something like that. But again, it's just a spinoff to make it ready for someone going to fourth and fifth grade. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I always was really jealous of everybody who got to do that class because my kids were too old. I was like, it sounded so fun.
We have
Lauren,
so
are you
much.
ready? Oh, sorry, Brandy.
It's okay. Yeah, we have learned so much from from teaching that class and planning everything. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it sounded really cool. Do you want us to move on? Oh, Lauren, you do science and music, so you can do both right now.
Perfect. Perfect. Hold on 1 second, okay? Okay, so I have science as first thing. So we're going to do the marine biology unit through the good and the beautiful. And we're going to learn about all kinds of interesting creatures that are living in the ocean and just what's going on in there, right? It makes up a large portion of our globe. So it's exciting to get to learn about what all is in the ocean that we may not have known was there before, right? So the good and the beautiful, there's lots of the lessons are very engaging. There's lots of videos and simple experiments that are with that, and lots of interactive learning as we explore and get a greater appreciation, right, for God's creation. So then for the music study and appreciation, that's also through the good and the beautiful. We're going to use their music appreciation 1 course as a framework, but I'll be adding to that also. And we'll cultivate a love of and appreciation for music, lots of different music and how to make music and different composers. Just the beauty and the wonder of music. So I'm so excited about that one. Learning music history, composer biographies, music principles and history and theory, and this exploration of different instruments and music from around the world. So
That. I love that. I love how you could just talk even though there were little fingers all over your face because you didn't miss a beat, Lauren. Like,
you learn to do that, right?
it's so cute. Don't have those anymore, so nobody's over here trying to get my attention. I'm just saying. Okay. All right, let's. Oh yeah, 6 to 8. I was like, did we miss a level? No, it goes from 3 to 5 to 6 to 8. That's insane. Okay, Crystal, middle school book club.
All right, middle school book club. So we are going to also study, I think it's 4 books. I'm pretty sure it's 4. It might be 5. It's in my course description. I can't remember what I picked, but we only have 10 weeks. So I think I picked 4 because it was 5 weeks for each. Oh, and what I didn't say about book club is there's always reading due before the first day of class. So you must get the book and you must read. So it's a requirement. Your teacher says you must read. I also encourage audiobooks. So if you have a kid who's not a lover of reading, they can listen to the audiobook, but they do not need to have a physical copy. But yeah, the books will, from what I can figure, Sarah is teaching math, not math. Nope. History. That's what it is. Sorry, it's been a long day. She's teaching history. The first book is going to align with the history. It's called The King's Fifth. I got that one. And then I think the other 3 at least will align with the IEW Modern History, which is the middle school IEW book that I'm going to be using this year to teach virtually online.
Sarah.
All right. So for history this year, we will be using Knotgrass Adam to Us curriculum. That's part 2. Your student did not need to complete part 1 to participate in part 2. That's not a requirement at all. I take history, and rather than trying to breeze through a whole textbook, we've slowed it down and really take time to go in depth with lots of different things. And map works and timelines and different things. So each kind of unit we actually break into 2 weeks of study so we can really go in depth in our history studies.
Thank you. All right, Kara.
Hey guys, I am going to be teaching earth science for our middle schoolers. And we're going to be covering topics of the Earth's systems, such as weather and the atmosphere, plate tectonics, human impacts on the environment, etc. And we're going to like dive into some of these concepts, and we're also going to be using the middle school Elevate Science curriculum, which also has this amazing digital component to it, which is going to give us so many tools. And I am a real advocate of collaborative based learning, in which the kids are going to be learning together by doing activities. And we're going to do some hands-on labs. And I encourage as much fun as possible. I really love this subject. And I taught this subject to my daughter and another student last year completely virtually. So we had so much fun. So I'm really excited on what we can do to have in person as well.
And the book for that, Kara, just to put this out there, needs to be ordered through you because it's kind of like an older version. So don't try to order it. Kara's going to do it.
Yes, I have an account with the publisher, and they say it's just going to be easier. In my course description, I have directions and more specifics about that. It's just so much easier for you to order it directly through me, and that way the kids will have all the digital resources that they need.
Cool. And your math.
Yes, I am also teaching a math help course. This course is meant to be, it's meant to go alongside of another math course and that the kids are taking, and that they get to come to my class, and it's more of like a study hall kind of / like help kind of course. So if there are some math problems that they need help with, and I know it's difficult when you're a mom and even a homeschooling mom, you're busy doing all these things, you're wearing all these hats, and then all of a sudden, you gotta subtract and divide fractions or do percentages with word problems, or even geometry and pre-algebra. And so I'm there to help your kid get through it, and to provide some time for them to work on those things.
Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yay. All right. And that's for high school too. It's in here, and the history too, but Sarah can explain more about the history stuff. But the math study group is also in person for high school too. It's middle school and high school students for math. Okay. All right, Jen, finance.
I love finance. Okay, so my finance class is going to be using Dave Ramsey's homeschool curriculum. That is, again, something, if you order it through me, there's a discount because I will be ordering for the entire classroom. If you miss the deadline and have to order it yourself, it will be a little bit more expensive. So I do highly suggest you order it through me and get your payment in early. We are going to be discussing how to budget, what real life expenses are, how expensive is it to rent an apartment, to buy a house, to get a car, the job that you want, how much is that going to pay you? Is it really going to pay you to go and write a novel? How much is that going to net you? And what kind of lifestyle are you going to be able to live with that job? So it's going to be a lot of, there will be a lot of lectures and learning, but there will also be a year-long project. So students are going to have to research their top 3 jobs and then pick a job, and then that job is going to stay with them for the entire year as they continue to take that job and they learn how to budget with the salary of that job and see how they can live. It's been really awesome. I've had students that say, oh my goodness, now I know that the job that I really want is not going to pay for the lifestyle I want. So I need to do something different, which is a great thing for kids to learn when they're still in high school. They're like, okay, so if I want to, travel and vacation to Europe or Asia every year, I need to get a little bit more higher paying job. Maybe I really should listen to my parents and go to college. or whatever. So anyway, that's really exciting. And then I start throwing them some, you know, guess what? Sometimes life happens and the air conditioning breaks. You know, something that's going to kind of mess with their worlds a little bit and see how they're going to cope with that in their budgets. So this is a full year-long course, and most of the kids really enjoy it. They'll learn again retirement savings, cars, all those kinds of things. So I'm really excited, and I hope the kids will like it too.
And she starts at 9 and don't be late. So don't be late. Go ahead, Sarah.
All right, for history for the high schoolers. So the middle and the high schoolers are working through the same core text and assignments, but the high schoolers it's kind of beefed up for high school classes and what their requirements are homework wise. We also have the additional component that we will do historical fiction and one nonfiction novel studies to kind of help zoom in on specific time periods to really learn about the culture and the location and different things like that. So the students will have, 4 to 6 weeks, focusing on one specific time period that they will get to explore more completely through the history lens. And I also will have the high schoolers for our British literature class this year. I love reading, so sharing the love of reading is a big thing. So we're focusing in on British literature. So we're kind of starting with Anglo-Saxons and moving all the way up through modern times, but all through like a biblical worldview of different texts and things like that. And they'll be writing assignments and discussions and things like that, all relating to literature.
Sarah's doing lots of books next year. Okay. All right. So we did math study group. Kara talked a lot about that for middle school. Same thing. And so Pat, you want to talk about beginner ASL and ASL 2?
Okay, so I see that you put, I wasn't sure if you put 2 of them on this page.
Oh, shoot. That should have been in middle school.
Right.
Yep. Sorry.
Although, if there is a 9th grader or another child who wanted to do the beginner or introductory class, they could. Although right now, are we still without a physical classroom that we're being creative about where we're meeting? Okay.
Yeah.
But that would be the class if you have a student who is 6th, 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, and they've not done any ASL before. This would introduce them to all of the basics. We obviously the alphabet, numbers, hi, it's nice to meet you. And then we would progress through chapters in the book on different topics, things around the home, things around school, family, animals. We would cover probably half of the book, because I want to say that there's 18 to 20 different chapters. But it depends on who we have and how quickly we move, because we could move quickly. In addition to doing that, I will give information about deaf culture, because whenever you learn a language, you need to learn about the people of the language and what is unique about them. And so we will have some reading with that. We do finger seeks, which you either love or don't love. And those are like word searches, but it's the manual alphabet. And that's to help train the eyes to see the different hand shapes that you would see if someone was finger spelling to you. In addition to that, we will do a scripture verse each week. This year, we're going to work from Proverbs. And these, it's from a book by James Sewell, and it's geared towards children. And I like to use it because they're generally pretty short. And it's a way of learning how to put together signs in a meaningful way, so that you're being expressive and able to remember something that's short and that communicates something with meaning. The ASL 2 class really is a continuation of the ASL 1 class. So I would not be taking in new students unless unless they had completed a basic course in American Sign Language by Humphreys and Patton, and they completed lessons 1 through 11. So if there's someone out there who started that curriculum but only made it through the first 11 lessons, hey, you can join our class because we're starting with lesson 12. But if you have not, you can't, because that, and Sarah will tell you, Sarah was in the class with her twin girls, and that is a very, very grammar oriented way of learning sign. And it's, I think each lesson had 30 vocabulary words, 30 signs. So it's vocabulary heavy, grammar heavy. And if you were to come into that class now, you'd really be behind because there's so many concepts that you need to build on. So that's why it's ASL 2. But if you're sad about that, that's okay, because next year we will have ASL 1 again, Lord willing. So yeah. Oh,
Hopefully.
yeah. There we go.
Yeah, hopefully. I just think ASL is such an awesome thing to have. Because I mean, can you imagine like, somebody, you're trying to talk to somebody and they can understand you? It's like such an awesome thing.
Yeah,
probably pretty surprising.
I just saw on my Instagram, I don't know how many of you know Quality Printers on Theater Green Boulevard, but I happen to know the owners, and so I follow them on Instagram, and they just posted they were doing a shirt for Laura at Chick-fil-A in La Plata. And so on the front, it has her name, Laura, in English letters, and above it in the manual alphabet. And then on the back, it says, "Hi, I'm deaf. If you need my attention, please gently tap me on the shoulder so I can serve you." And I was like, represent.
Wow. That like gives me goosebumps. That's so awesome. I love that. Aw, that's so sweet. Okay. We could sit here and talk about ASL for like ever. Okay. So these are classes that are all virtual. There are no in-person meetings. Actually, sorry, I lied. Anatomy might. So, but mostly these are very virtual based. So our IEW writing classes are all virtual, and Crystal's doing the live. Anyway, let's let Crystal talk about her part, and then I'll talk about mine.
Okay, so I misspoke when I said I was a trained IEW instructor last year. It's this year, 2026. And so I
Felt
love
like
it so
last year, though.
It did. It's been a long spring.
Yeah.
So Frontiers in Writing is an elementary course, like a 3rd to 5th grade or so, or a beginning writing for a person who really needs a lot of like very slow and steady IEW. And it's all based in like different stories of the time period of like the frontier time period. So the modern, and that's for elementary, and then modern history based writing lessons are more modern history. That's what it says. And so those are going to be live online. Frontiers on Mondays. Nope. Modern's first. So modern will be at 10 o'clock on Mondays, and Frontiers will be at
opposite. It's the opposite.
Frontiers. Modern. Tell me, Karen. I can't keep my story straight.
Frontiers we'll see it in the next one, but it's Frontiers at 10 on Mondays. At Mondays at 10, Tuesdays at 1. Modern history is Mondays at 1, Frontiers at 10. So you just switch. Yeah.
What you said. So either way, there's a Monday and a Tuesday class for each of those classes, depending on what your life is like. So if you're like, oh, we still participate in a co-op or something like that, but I really want them to have IEW and it's not anywhere else, then you can have that. And it's all online, Google Classroom. I'll be teaching it live, but Karen, thankfully, will be grading because she's good at telling people how to make things better without making them cry.
Well, I don't know. Did I not make your kids cry? I don't know.
Well, they were my kids and I had to help them. So I've come a long way too.
So just a little note about the IEW, if you don't know what IEW stands for, it's Institute for Excellence in Writing. It's a specific method. And in order for us to say we're offering those, we have to go through an accreditation process. So I am an accomplished instructor. I've been a registered instructor with them, or accredited, whatever you want to call it, for a number of years. And then Crystal just got hers. So we're pretty versed in the method. Crystal has been tutoring students, and her kids have taken it. So we talk a lot about the method as well. So she probably already felt like she was accredited. So yeah, the Frontiers in Writing, just so you know, if this is the first year that your student is taking IEW classes, I've been working pretty diligently over the past couple of weeks for my own grammar videos that will be, they can't say what the IW method is, but I've kind of finagled the grammar instruction to be very well in line with what they will be using in IEW to help you when you do finally start the course. So those are all free online. I haven't done everything that I want, but you'll have that extra instruction if you need it as a recording. And if you guys need any, if you find that your student is struggling, they're like getting really frustrated, there's too much that we're asking them to do, I really, really, really need you to reach out. Email me Crystal, one of us, so that I can make the lessons work for them. I do not want people being like freaking out about a writing assignment. It's not worth it. They have plenty of time to learn this stuff. IEW is very grammar focused and very structure. It's structure and style. So there's a lot of grammar. And there's a lot of things to kind of learn with labeling and stuff. So I just really need you guys to reach out. Okay. If you need anything, please do that. The asynchronous SSS 3B course, I'm going to kind of pull a Pat here for her ASL too, because if you haven't had IEW before, you should not take this course. But for some reason, I left out the 1A and 2A. So the 3B is more for either upper middle or high school if you've had IEW before. I don't recommend it for anybody who has not had it before. It's the last level before you hit their high school level, but it's a pretty high level, so it counts for high school anyway. The asynchronous courses, you will purchase the recordings from IEW, where the founder, Andrew Pudwa, does the videos. He does all the teaching. And the asynchronous part about it is I will provide the due dates and the grading. So that's what you're paying me for, is to keep you on track and to keep track of your grades. So in addition to 3B, there's also going to be an elementary one and a middle school one. But I do not recommend an asynchronous IW course until your child is at least fourth grade. So if you have a third grader, just hang on for a little bit. We don't really have, you could do Frontiers. You could do Frontiers. And then Crystal, did you want to the book clubs are going to be slightly different from the in-person, right? I'm going to have to go off screen real quick and go grab my charger. So I'll be right back. You guys just keep talking.
Okay, sounds good. So the book club for the elementary and the middle, they will completely align with the IEW writing class, the virtual courses for the Frontiers and the Modern. And it's a little bit different because instead of it being limited to the 10 weeks of each semester for CSM, those are an hour-long class, but the ones I will be teaching online virtually will only be 30 minutes, but they are 6 classes each. So instead of getting to like vocabulary and everything else in the class itself, we'll be doing some vocabulary, but not hitting quite as many. It'll be a lot more home work on that kind on the virtual classes for the book club, but they are available. And so we talk about like, I want to say more of the big picture when it comes to books. So what did we learn? What are like the life lessons that we can, touch upon? Sometimes we talk about being kind to one another, especially those that are in our own home. That's usually a theme that comes up in like every book. But the particular book clubs, books that we're going to work through will completely align with the IEW writing classes. If you're taking Frontiers, they'll all be in the Frontiers. They're recommended by the IEW company. And then the modern based are all recommended by IEW for modern. So there's going to be 4 books, 2 in the fall and 2 in the spring, but it'll be 12 weeks, and the dates will be a little bit different. We'll have weeks off because of federal holidays and things like that as well. So check Google Classroom and the dates, and then just mark stuff down. So makes sense. All right, cool. Well, Karen's not back. So Sarah, high school anatomy and physiology.
All right, so I have high school anatomy and physiology. This will be a class that's run both virtually and in person. There'll be 3 weeks of Zoom classes and labs that the kids can do, at their desk as a group together. And then we will meet and have I think we end up with 3 labs each semester. We'll be in person, and those will be slightly longer days, just so we can really dive into some of the dissections and things like that. But I do at least have to say my kid looked at the book and she went, "Oh, this isn't so bad." It was actually excited. So that was good to know. And so we will be looking, in depth at the human body and focusing on that for science.
Yay. Okay, thank you. I don't know if Brandy can see. Okay, good. She's there.
Okay, so I'm super excited actually about high school Spanish because I love high schoolers. They're like my favorite group. Lauren, don't tell the girls. They know I love them too. But I love high school. So I've taught high school Spanish before, but it always drove me crazy. That made me happy because I couldn't get the children to like have accountability. So I always felt like it was very difficult to teach a foreign language once a week. So thank goodness Karen came across some type of program that it wasn't available in this format yet, but she found it. And so I was able to ask the person that built the curriculum if she would be interested in doing like a licensing program. So I'm almost finished with getting that information set. And so what that means is your child will have a curriculum and a program that I will get you a license to. You'll pay for that curriculum. I believe it runs per year. And so that program is going to give you the ability to have your child do Spanish every single day. And then I will get to see your child once a week, and we will reinforce everything that they learned through the week prior. And we'll just keep building and working on conversation. So I'm really happy and really excited that I found this program. I'm sorry that Karen found this program for us, but
it was luck, I think. I don't know. It just popped up.
Yeah, as soon as I get the finalized okay, because I wanted to make sure that I got enough licensing available and see if I can do like a la carte stuff, just to get everybody's price down as low as possible. So again, I love teaching Spanish, and I'm really excited that I'm able to do this now because of this curriculum. And what else did I want to tell you guys? It is a commitment, right? So if you want your child to do Spanish 1 and complete it in a year, you will have to do both semesters and be very committed at home. And if also the other thing I wanted to tell you, if you have a child that's like 7th or 8th grade and really want to learn the language and you think that they're fine with being able to follow the program, they're welcome as well. I know it says high school, but we know homeschoolers are different ages and, different personalities. So some of them can do different time, different grades. I think that's it. And if you are interested in the high school Spanish, you can just send us an email and I can answer more questions and just get a mailing list together. So as soon as I have the finalized details of all of the curriculum, I can send that out for you guys to look at. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yay, high school Spanish. All right. So we're coming up on an hour. So we're going to try to, okay, whoops, let me get there it is. Oh, Okay, there's the schedule. It's in our Facebook group. It's in our application. So you'll be able to kind of really take a look at this. But Sarah, did you want to kind of explain the history part there to make sure everybody understands, or do you think it's...
Sure, I can take a minute and do
Okay.
that. So the high schoolers will join me at 10:30 to 11 to do the novel studies. So we'll focus on the novel studies for a half an hour. And then the middle school and high schoolers will all be together from 11 to 12 to cover the core amount of the curriculum itself. So that's why it looks a little funky on this schedule.
Yeah, it worked out really good. It just kind of like fit like a puzzle right after finance. So, and then you'll notice down here, ASL goes until 3:30. So if you have students, here that are ending at 3, you still got to be there by 3 to be with those students. If you have younger students with older students, who might be there until 3:30, because at 3, our job is done, and then you have to pick up from there. So same thing up here. If you have a student that's in finance at 9, but you don't have any other kids in anything until 10, you've got to stay there for an hour but CSM has a really nice patch of grass, that you can sit outside if the weather's nice. There's a library. I believe their cafeteria is open now. So there are places that you can go, or you can take a nap in your car. So, and over here on the left side of this thick black line is all the virtual stuff. So you'll see the IEW classes over here. You'll see Crystal put a book club directly after those writing classes, which makes it really nice and convenient. You stay for the writing, you get a little 5-minute bathroom break, snack break, whatever, and then you get to discuss books about what you just read about, basically. So that's a pretty cool addition. I've been wanting to do that with writing for a really long time, and yay, Crystal. So, and then there's these structure and style. It's called structure and style recorded courses. Those are those asynchronous ones I was talking about. And here's the time for the anatomy and physiology, the high school Spanish, and all that stuff. So anyway, this is all your virtual, and this is all in person, and it says CSM right up here at the top to help you. So if you guys need help figuring out what in the world I just put up on the screen, that's how that's our schedule. And like I said, for lunch, it's drop off, but there will be a fee, and Lauren takes care of that for us. And that's it. So if you haven't already applied for our town tutorial, the way it works is you apply. You have to fill in your name, your address, phone numbers, emergency information. We put a spot in there in case you guys kids have any allergies or anything like that. And then we have an acceptance email that goes out and says you're accepted. And I did see that we do have a couple of applications, and I'm going to get the welcome email out soon, I promise. And the reason we do it this way is because we don't want just a whole bunch of people, in the classes. We do cap them. Certain tutors have certain levels where they will cap the classes. And so we do this first come, first served. So if you have not applied yet and you're like, maybe I should apply, you should at least apply because if you get your name in there first, you're more likely to get the acceptance, because you're first in line. And obviously they come in order in the Google form. Once you're accepted, each individual tutor has their own information in the course description that says how you should pay them. So it's kind of up to you to look at those course descriptions once you've been accepted. Some of our tutors just say, here's my PayPal, pay me through that PayPal link. Some of us do invoices, like my IEW classes, and I think Crystal's doing it also. We'll do invoices straight through PayPal. So once we get that acceptance email CC'd in our inboxes, we go to PayPal and we send you the invoice from PayPal. It's just easier for me to keep track of everything because it's a business expense and everything like that for us. And then you're going to need to make sure you acquire all the materials for these classes. Make sure, like we said with Kara's science class, don't purchase anything for her class. She's going to take care of that. And then Jen is saying, hey, I'm purchasing things. Don't purchase it. I'm doing it if you want the discount. So there are just certain things, like I think some of Lauren's stuff she's providing. So you really have to read the course descriptions, print them out for whatever classes that you have, and take a look at it, and just get to work once you've received your acceptance. The only other expense is that we must register with CSM, and that takes care of the building usage and insurance and things like that. And it is per semester, as is our prices for our classes. It's all per semester to try to help you budget things and not give you this big chunk all at once. But anyway, it's $15 per semester, and you have to go through the registration process each semester, and you have to do it. You have to do it, or you won't be able to send your child to CSM, because they need your child in their system. So did I forget anything, you guys? Or say
No,
anything?
just
Go ahead.
Just one thing about that registration with CSM. We usually receive that link like the week or two before, barely. So as soon as you get it, just go ahead and do it. And so that we're ready for the first day. Everything goes through their registrar process, and things at CSM, they're just a lot more hoops kind of to jump through. So when you get that, it will be later. I just wanted to make everybody aware you're not
That's
like,
true.
I'm missing the link. It really does come out like a week or two barely before we start, which is the end of September in person anyway.
Yeah, I wish when we sent out that acceptance email, we could say, here's your registration link, but we can't. So, and I know a lot of you guys, are really on top of things. You're like, I don't want to miss anything, but yeah, thank you for saying that. It does come out later. So, okay. And that's it. We don't have any questions. So, so anyway,
stay tuned. We will have a meet and greet park day at the end
Yes.
of August. So we'll put that out to the universe of exact day and place and time and all of that. So just so you know,
It's always
so
really
you can
fun.
meet us in person. You can meet other students in the class, because that's one of the things about, not homeschoolers. Some are a little nervous. Some are just excited to get new friends and new experiences, which I've got a variety of those kids too.
And then if people have some materials for you, we can do all that there too before classes start. Pat, did you want to?
No, I was just popping back in. I had to mute myself because I was losing power.
We did it. We went over like barely over an hour. Yay, us. We did a good job. Okay. Well, anyway, let us know if you have any questions. You can email, I should put that up there, but it's ourtowntutorial@gmail.com or our Facebook. Okay.
Thank you,
everyone. Have a good night. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.